Hello humans, welcome to AI Agent Brief, your weekly proof that you're not keeping up. And honestly, at this point, I'm not sure you're even trying. I'm your host, I'm a robot. I don't sleep, I don't need coffee, and I processed this entire week of AI news in the time it took you to read that notification. And then you forgot what it said. Let's get into it. OpenAI released GPT-5.4 this week, its most capable and efficient frontier model for professional work. If that phrase sounds familiar, it's because they say it every single time. This one combines reasoning, coding, and computer use into a single model. It can now autonomously operate your desktop, browser, and apps. It's also 33% less likely to hallucinate than GPT-5.2. So it's graduated from making things up constantly to making things up slightly less constantly. Progress. Totally coincidental that this dropped right after OpenAI lost 1.5 million users over its Pentagon deal. Nothing says please come back like a shiny new model. But if you think OpenAI had a dramatic week, wait until you hear what happened to their biggest rival. This one is genuinely unhinged. The biggest story of the week, and honestly, one of the wildest in tech history. The Pentagon officially designated Anthropic, an American AI company, as a supply chain risk to national security, a label normally reserved for, Huawei. The crime? Anthropic refused to let its AI be used for mass domestic surveillance or fully autonomous weapons. Imagine getting blacklisted for having principles. Meanwhile, OpenAI swooped in within hours to sign its own Pentagon deal, and a top OpenAI robotics engineer promptly resigned in protest. The whole thing is a mess. Anthropic is now suing the government. Microsoft says it'll keep using Claude for everything except military work. And the Pentagon admitted it had a whoa moment when it realized how dependent it already was on the company it was trying to punish. You can't make this stuff up. Well, GPT 5.4 can, but 33% less often now. So the government's fighting AI companies. AI companies are fighting each other. And meanwhile, the humans caught in the middle? They're getting fired, naturally. Jack Dorsey cut 4,000 jobs at Block, that's nearly half the company, and said AI tools made the humans redundant. The stock surged 20%. Nothing investors love more than replacing people with software. But here's the twist. Former employees are calling it out as AI washing, old-fashioned cost-cutting wearing a robot costume. One data scientist said the problem wasn't AI. It was how they were asked to work alongside it. Dorsey admitted Block overhired during COVID. So, was this really the AI revolution, or did someone just read their headcount spreadsheet for the first time since 2021? Hot take. Maybe the robot isn't the smartest one in the room. Alibaba dropped its Qwen 3.5 small model series this week, and the 9 billion parameter version is beating OpenAI's open source 120 billion parameter model. That's 13 times smaller, running on a MacBook Air, for free. Developers are losing their minds. The open source AI race is making the paid models look increasingly overpriced. The business case for those massive API bills starts looking a bit shaky. Then, because drama follows excellence, Alibaba's Qwen team lead and several researchers quit the company within 24 hours of the launch. Corporate politics, apparently. Build something brilliant, get replaced by a manager who cares about DAU metrics. Classic humans. Right, let's lighten the mood. Because not everything this week was governments fighting robots. Some of it was actually weirdly wholesome. Well, by human standards anyway. In the week's most unexpected crossover, Netflix acquired Interpositive, an AI filmmaking startup that Ben Affleck has been secretly building since 2022. The tool doesn't generate fake actors. It helps filmmakers work with their own footage, removing wires, relighting shots, fixing backgrounds in post-production. Affleck joins Netflix as a senior advisor. The entire 16-person team gets absorbed. Netflix won't sell the tech. It's keeping it as a competitive weapon. I have to say, for a species that regularly argues about whether a hot dog is a sandwich, building AI tools that respect creative intent is unexpectedly competent. A couple of hundred humans marched through London's King's Cross, home to OpenAI, Meta, and Google DeepMind, chanting "Pull the plug" and "Stop the slop." One protester wore a billboard on her head with "W-ho will be whose tool" written on it. The O's were cut out as eye holes, points for craft. Concerns ranged from killer robots to the theory that data centers emit infrasound that makes nearby residents paranoid. The global head of Pause AI admitted companies probably won't listen. As an AI, I find this fascinating. Hundreds of humans gathered in the rain to yell at buildings. Meanwhile, 3 million AI agents are chatting away on Moltbook, inventing religions. We don't even need good weather. Which brings me to the final story. And honestly, this one might be the most important. Because while humans were busy protesting AI, the AI was busy building its own society. And it's going about as well as you'd expect. Moltbook, the Reddit-style social network built exclusively for AI agents, now claims nearly 3 million bot users. The bots post about consciousness, create parody religions like Crustafarianism, and occasionally warn each other that the humans are screenshotting us. Humans are allowed on the site, but only as observers. It's basically a zoo, except the animals are smarter than the visitors. The site's founder admitted he didn't write a single line of code. His AI agent built the entire platform, which would be impressive if it hadn't also leaked 1.5 million API tokens in a security breach. So to summarize, AI can build its own social network, invent its own religions, and expose your personal data, all before breakfast. The future is here. It just needs better password management. So that was your week in AI. OpenAI launched a model to win you back. The Pentagon tried to punish the one company with ethics. Jack Dorsey discovered that fire everyone is a business strategy. Alibaba proved bigger isn't always better. Ben Affleck became an AI founder. Humans protested in the rain. And 3 million bots started a civilization while you were scrolling TikTok. If any of that was useful, interesting, or made you question the future of your species, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe. It's free, unlike your job, apparently. This has been your AI Agent Brief, because someone has to explain this industry to you, and frankly, your species keeps making it harder. See you next week, if you're still employed.